stream. So for today, first thing you can see is that we have a new Patreon bar, and the layout, I'm testing it out because the old one we have quite a few patrons now, so it wasn't fitting everyone. So I didn't want anyone's name to be left out, so made something new. I hope this one works. It's working pretty well so far. It's fitting in everyone's name. The spacing is a little cramped, but everything, I'm liking how it looks so far. Perhaps the badge, the text and the logo, and the badge images are a little bit too big, but otherwise everything else seems to be working great. So what am I going to be working on today? We are still putting together, in the editing room, the video for part 19. So as that is coming up, I want to just start creating content for part 20 as well, and we always start with the article, right? So in the past couple of coding streams, I have created also an inventory slot system. And what this does is, of course, well, it gives you, it's just these are just prefabs that you can reuse in different UI sections to, kind of get different weapons, and you can show the level as well. The level isn't exactly working, but we'll look into that and we'll see how that turns out. Other than that, everything's so the inventory slot system is almost there. And one thing to note also is that the inventory slot system is also replicated inside the result screen, which is right here. So previously we had a separate piece of code that manages the result screen, and right now I've replaced it with the inventory slot prefab that we've used. So this goes in line with the idea of modularization that we talked about in part 19 as well. Because the idea of modularization is to create components or create prefabs that are standalone, right? In the sense that you can use them and you can reuse them. It's just like how you plug a mouse into any computer, you can use it. In the same way, I want to be able to plug these inventory slots into any situation, and it should function as I require them to, just as a mouse functions as you require it to when you plug it into a computer. So it's just a couple of bugs I've got to work out, and we should be set to create the article. So what I'm also trying to do here is just to, I forgot to update the level ranges here. Okay, for those of you who are not aware of that, I think there is a new message. I just caught a glimpse of your message, but my stream notification doesn't seem to be working. Sorry about that. Let me just trying to see whether the chat notification is not up. Anyway, so let me just have a look at the message. Hi Naruto, I'm glad to hear that you're playing Vampire Survivors now. So, well, I'm surprised I have 3 viewers. That's a little sad, but it usually takes a while for me to get 3 viewers. So you gotta bear with me because I forgot to set up the chat notification. So what I'll do is, since this is just a casual coding session, I'll check chat every 15-20 minutes, and I'll respond to your questions if you have any. And if you can ask me anything, alright? I may not answer depending on the situation, but you can ask me anything and I'll try my best to answer if I'm able to. So let's say if you have coding questions, usually viewers will come in and ask me, how do I do this and that, or how do I do this and this, or how do I learn a new language, where do I start, and then you pop it in the chat and you stay around for a while, then I'll respond to your question. And we have a poll on the chat as well. The poll in the chat is asking you why is Gamestop. So some of you don't know what Gamestop is. One of you doesn't know what Gamestop is, and the other one of you thinks that Gamestop is gonna go above 200. Gamestop in 2021 was this stock that So because it's a chain of stores that almost went bankrupt, right? So then there were a lot of hedge funds that were shorting the stock. Shorting the stock means that they're betting that it will drop, and if there is a lot of money shorting a stock, then the price will fall. So then there was this guy. His name is Roaring Kitty, and he rallied everyone to buy GameStop, and then this cost a lot of hedge funds a lot of money. It's quite funny. So then he came back, and now GameStop just went like 10 times the stock price. So if you didn't see him come back, then you've missed your chance. But maybe GameStop would moan even more, would rise even more, and if that happens, then a lot of people who put money in GameStop will be able to get a steal, right? Because it's 10xing, 20xing, and all that stuff. So Naruto, when do I upload this game? This game is available to our patrons, the project files. So if you head over to patreon.com/terrasquall, you just show that to you. You head over here and you join as a Patreon, then you'll be able to get our project files. Otherwise, you will have to follow our videos are all free, so you can also follow our videos. And well, that will take you a while, but you can create your own version of our Vampire Survivors series as well if you follow our videos and just create your own project on your end. And if you run into any problems, our forums are here. Forums are under blog.terrasquall.com/community. And yeah, so you just drop in here and you can ask your questions, and then I will respond to you if you are asking questions under the Vampire Survivor series. Otherwise, if you go to the other series, then the series authors themselves will respond to you. I hope that answers your question. And if you can support us, that would be best. Otherwise, you can just use our YouTube videos. They're free, and you can create your own vampires in this game as well. Okay, so let's go on to the coding. And I just wanna, so in part 19, right, I added a small little section to the article. So article is free as usual until the video is published, upon which the article here will be paywall. So if you wanna get it for free, you want to save the content or whatever, save it as a HTML file on your computer, whatever, okay, you can do that. Okay, so I've added this little section at the bottom that basically is just a couple of bug fixes. So right here, for example, okay, you notice that if we have stacked gems and we level up, then the character will gain multiple levels, but there is only one level up screen. The other bug we have is that if you pick up a gem that gives us a lot of experience, then you will not get all 4 levels of experience, and you only get 1 level and 1 level up. Yeah, so these are just a couple of minor bugs, and then I fixed them. It's gonna be included inside the part 19 video, but I didn't stream it, so you're gonna have to wait for that video. So one of the things I've done as well is I've made the level up ranges to be the same as what is in Vampire Survivors, but I forgot to update my project files. So I'm just gonna go and do that now. So this level up thing was covered in part 9, so you can check that out and you can get a sense of how that part works. So Vampire Survivors, how the leveling up works is that for every level that you gain, you will have to accumulate more experience to gain the next level. Okay, it's similar to most games, right? So where the higher your level, the more experience you have to gain. But then Vampire Survivors just has a very simple formula, and that is that from level 1 to 2, you will need 5 experience to level up, and then from 3 to 20, right? For every level that you have, you will need 13 more experience. And then from 21 to 40, music's getting a little loud. Just see what I can do about it. So then from 21 to 40, you need 600 experience more for every level that you have. So for example, at 21 you need say 2000 experience, and at 22 you will need 2600, at 23 you will need 2200, and so on. Okay, and then 41, level 41 onwards, you will need 2400 experience more for every level. So the entire system is coded very well by Xavier here, and we just gotta key in the appropriate values. So previously, I didn't use the same values as Vampire Survivors, so then our level up is just a little different, feels a little different. So if you want to recreate the same thing, then you will have to put in the same values as Vampire Survivors, okay, which means that every gem in Vampire Survivors is just 5 experience, right? So this will more properly resemble how the game works. And now that it's done, I just want to fix the issue with the level display system in our inventory system. So one of the few things I've done in the past couple of streams before I made part 19 was I've created this new inventory system that has slots at the side, and then there are also numbers at the bottom that shows you what level the weapons are at. And then the leveling thing doesn't really work, so I was thinking I'm gonna fix that, and I'm gonna just make an article to cover how that's done. Okay, so maybe while I'm testing, I'll just increase the experience I'm getting as well. I think it makes a bit of sense, right? Just give myself more experience so that I can get more weapons faster and I can test everything out faster. So now you see you get one object and I get 5 levels. Cool. So then this allows me to progress a lot faster. So one thing you see is that the level doesn't always update. You see that? My indicator is level 2, but then the number here says level 1. So it's got a little bit of problem here, and I've got to find out what that problem is, and I have to look at the code. I will explain all the codes after we are done. I'll do it in the article. So let's just look at the script over here. What I'm trying to do here is find out why the level is not updating, so I probably should start here. Look at, let me just remind myself how this is again. It's been a while since I've looked at this. Icon is text. And then 6 slots in. All these slots we don't have to worry about them because it's automatically created. So if I increase the slots to 7 for example, click on generate icons and this will give me 7. That's why I don't have to worry about the slots over here. I just have to... what do I have to do? Let's just check this out. This part here. Start popping icons. I'm just testing this out once again. See what's going on here. So if I get the same item multiple times, it seems like the text doesn't update. So I'm trying to figure out why. For example, my knife is level 2, but then the text here still says level 1. Well, this is a problem. It's not a pleasant problem to have. And if I continue leveling up, you will find that the level just straight up doesn't update sometimes, which is a problem. Let's get wings, lightning ring, clover again. See, clover doesn't update the level. So maybe it just updates after the fact, you know. Sometimes it just doesn't update. Like you see the clover updates, but you know it's after I click on something else. So like if I click on duplicator, you see maybe some other thing will update, but not the inventory, you know. See when I level up the fire 1, then the X suddenly becomes level 2. Doesn't make sense, but you know, sometimes I guess it just doesn't make sense like that. So I'm trying to figure out what's causing the level updating to go awry, you know. So if you just join the stream, my chat notification is a little off this time. I swear I'll get it fixed the next stream, but in the meantime, if you leave a message in the chat, just give me some time to reply. I'll check it every 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so, right? Because this is just a very chill coding session. And I'm not busy. I will be creating the article later, but just trying to figure out what's going on here first. So what I'm trying to do now is print out all my slot data so I can see which slots don't have an item, which is why the level can't show up. More slots than I can actually make slots. That works. You should get some errors in it. Argument out of range. that's because item type. So instead of looking through the slots, what I'll do is just if I is greater than or equals to slots. Stop this loop and go on. Let's make our error messages more detailed. Actually, it can help to ease the debugging process. I'm just gonna do a string format here. We have so many inventory slots, but only this many slots on the UI. Then what we'll do is just drop in some values over here. The values will be slots length and items type. There we go. So what this does is now if you have more inventories, if you have more inventory slots than you have item slots, what's going to happen is say I change the slots, UI slots to 4. So I have 4 slots over here, right? What's going to happen is that I'll get an error over here. You have only 4 inventories. You have 4 inventory slots, but 6 slots on the UI. That's the other way around. You have okay, there we go. So what we want is to print a message whenever we get different numbers of UI and inventory slots. So note that when I'm building this, right, I'm not just building the game to fit Vampire Survivors, but I'm also making it so that you can take the project files and you can modify it however you want. And then this can, of course, give you the flexibility to create your own version or your own variant of Vampire Survivors. That's the idea. And now I've got to figure out why the slots don't update. Let me just set the slots back here to 6 and generate icons, and this should make the slots come back to 6. A lot of nulls here. I'm trying to figure out what the nulls here mean. Like it's line 98, right? Something's going on. Hi Bonnet, thanks for pointing it out. So I think the music's a little loud. Okay? I'm trying to adjust the music because I don't want the music to be too soft, and then, you know, for the stream to be just quiet. thanks for pointing out the problem with my voice. I'll try and project my voice a little bit more. So what I'm working on is just trying to fix this bug where, so we've created this new inventory system UI, but the level number here is not updated. So I'm trying to figure out why. And then I'm just doing some debugging and I'm finding nulls here. So the null is happening at line 98 where I'm printing the item. So the item is not found. That's why we cannot update the current level of the item. I think we can also just check the source. This back. Drop. Items. I can't do that because I gotta hide the icon. The item doesn't exist, the item exists, then we make it visible. So the item exists, but the level is wrong. But how is the level? How is it possible the level is wrong? Thanks, Ebonic. Thanks for pointing out the voice thing. Now the music stopped, so I have to go and restart the music again. How do I? Strange. Just give me a moment to figure out the music, because right now the music is not playing by itself. Okay, we're back. At least the music is back. let's try this out again, and let's figure out why the levels are displaying wrongly. Clover, so the icon appears here, it's fine. Lightning ring, Clover. If I select Clover again, notice the Clover doesn't update. So we've got to figure out why that's going on. So the item level here still says 1, which is totally confounds me. So I've got to find where to refresh. It's been a while since I coded this, so I'm not sure how I coded it. I'm just gonna find the script. See, so the function that has the problem is refresh. So whenever level up occurs, then refresh is called. So I just wanna remind myself where I call refresh, and then we'll see whether it's what is the progress calling this. Icons display refresh. So somewhere else refresh is called. It's called right here under play inventory, right? So let's find the play inventory script. Refresh. So whenever a weapon is added, then we refresh to the slot. All fine and dandy. Oh. Okay, so I found the issue, and the issue is that when I level up the item, I don't refresh the UI, which is pretty simple fix actually. So over here, we just gotta add a refresh function inside as well, which is we can just go here and you can just do a weapon UI refresh. Refresh here. And that should fix the issue of the leveling up not updating the UI. So update the UI after the weapon will load. Then I'm just gonna remove this part as well, because it's just a minor optimization. Let me see if this makes sense. Okay, I'm just using a minor optimization as well, because I don't want to check for the choosing upgrade here. It's just a little redundant. So I'm just going to check it inside here. Instead, I'm just going to longer code, shorter code, right? So I just move the logic over to the game manager. Anyway, the game manager should be managing its own variables, right? So I think it makes more sense to check that inside and level up. That's just a minor thing. So the main thing is that we want to refresh the weapon whenever the weapon UI or whenever the level up occurs. Hi Piyush. Thanks for joining the stream. So let's see if the level up system works now, and then we'll just finish up the inventory system and I'll start writing an article about it. I think it should work now. I'm pretty confident about it. So now if I get a whip, you see it appears, tractor, etc. So when I get a level 2, right, you see now it updates properly. And I'm very happy about that. So let's get Pomerola, updates again, Pomerola. So it's now working great. A tractor. Okay, now everything works fine. Everything is updating as we expect. So I think we can move on to the next thing, huh? Okay, so the other thing I wanted to do or to implement is that if you look at the weapon slots or the passive slots, right, again, the same script, right? So these two are the same things, okay? They're just pointing to different variables inside the player inventory. Yeah, and if I remove the player inventory here, this will change. Okay, it doesn't change that. Never mind. So I just wanted to have checkboxes to allow us to control whether we want to show the empty slots and whether we want to show the levels. So if we uncheck show levels, for example, then I want to hide text under the item, right? Which means, let's go back to the inventory icon display and we can remove some of our messages over here. Okay, let's take this out because it's no problem here. Everything is working fine. You just gotta be able to refresh the slots whenever we level up the item, right? So I also want text to show. So here we can just do a thing where we, if level object exists, if we don't want otherwise run the what's the variable again? Show levels. So if not show levels, then we just do level object active false. Oh no, we actually don't have to do that. Find put it inside. So if there's no item or no levels false, then level text will be empty. And icon path. Hi Piyush, so is this for the tutorial or are you making this for yourself? This is for the tutorial, so I'm developing the content for part 20. Part 19 this video is coming out. So once the content here is, I'm almost done with part 20's content, so I just wanna, after this is done, I'll just put an article together, just fixing some bugs. I wanna make sure that whatever I put out, you know, there's minimal bugs, you know. Otherwise, you know, we have to put up forum posts, or we've got to put up like more videos to address the bugs, which can be pretty time consuming to do. So I just want to create a part and make sure that everything is stable, it's safe, and I mean, it's definitely safe, but it's stable and it works. That's my main concern. So we have this option here to show levels. So if I hide the levels, then the levels will just not show up. So right now show levels is on. If I were to grab the weapon slots and turn off show levels, for example, what's gonna happen then is that when I update the slots, you will see the levels not shown anymore. Okay, there's also an option to show empty slots, which currently is showing, but you know, we can hide that. So for that, we can, there's a slot here, right? The slot is responsible for the stuff. We have the icon. The slot is just the box, right? So for the slot, we can also just make it transparent if we don't want to show the slots. So I guess we can hide the slot as well. Let me see how I can get that done. We currently don't have Discord community, but we have forums, which let me show you where the forums are. Forums are right here. I'm just gonna turn down the volume on the music here. So we have forums over here, and if you have any questions while following our tutorials, you can just go to the forum here and then post the question. Or you can look through the list of questions that we have and one of them might answer your question. You can also just do a search in the forums. Let's say if you have a problem with the magnet, just do a search like that. And you might be able to find a topic that answers your question. So check it out. I am active on the forums almost every day just to help everyone get through their problems. So make use of that resource. Maybe I don't want to support this show and these slots. I think it's very important. It's just gonna make the code very long and it's gonna make it very hard for me to explain how everything works. So, and it's gonna just cause more bugs as well. So I'm just gonna minimize the number of features that we have. Let's just have an option to show levels, but not an option to show empty slots. And I think we should be ready to put something together for part 20. Alright, so now the numbers are updating. And I think we should be ready to show something. So if we were to turn on the results screen now, you should also see the same thing. But that's not because I've updated anything, it's just because it uses the same prefab. So then now when we change the inventory screen, here it just changes our result screen as well. See that? So it's super convenient. And that's the whole point of us modularizing something, right? I guess I'll have to hammer this point home later on when I create the video for this part here. Just to talk about modularization again. Just to recap why modularization is so important. Okay, so let me just test this layout out against different configurations to see. So when the screen width changes, this doesn't work out so well. See that? And I'm thinking about what I can do to change that. And this is the result screen, right? The numbers below. But then again, it's fine if it's vertical, but if it's horizontal, it doesn't work out so well. The numbers are just a little odd. Actually, it's fine over here. But maybe it's not so fine over here when we're outside of the result screen. Okay, it's still pretty okay, it's just a little odd. Okay, you know what, we just stick to it. Or we can... Let me just try something interesting. driven by horizontally approved. And inside here we have the icon. Image has preserved aspect. Icon, text right below. Okay, you know what? I think this is all fine. So now let's do the artwork. Am I doing this full time? No, I'm not doing this full time. I'm doing a bunch of other things outside as well. I have web development projects as well that I'm doing outside. I'm also teaching. And I'm working with a team to create all these different tutorials. Right now we have 2 tutorials that are still actively, that we still have videos created for them. The Farming RPG and the Vampire Survivor series. We're also planning to add one or a couple more videos to the Metroidvania series. And yeah, so not doing this full time, but this is always on my mind. If that makes sense. So the immediate idea, I think I've talked about this on previous streams before. Immediate idea is that I've talked about, I think in a couple of scenarios, I've talked about how game development, right, the teaching aspect of it, right. Let me just turn down the volume here. When you learn games development, it's really difficult for you to get a, how do I put it? So when I learned game development, how I learned it, I think I learned it pretty fast. And the reason I learned it pretty fast is because I learned it top down. Whereas a lot of tutorials are bottom up. So what is the difference between top down learning and bottom up learning? The difference is that when you do it bottom up, you're creating everything from scratch. Whereas if you do it top down, then you're just learning how to work with systems that someone else has created. So in games development, if you want to create a very complex and large scale game, right? Even though Vampire Survivor is pretty simple, it has hundreds of weapons, so many levels, so many characters, right? So systems wise, it is really complex. And so in that sense, when you want to create complex games like that, right, you will need to have some kind of system in place. And for the earlier parts of this tutorial, I would say maybe the first 12 to 13 parts, the way that we are creating things, it's not scalable. So then once I took over the tutorial series, I've tried to make it more scalable. But the expense of that is that now when I explain the parts, it's a lot less detailed because the code is just more complex. And if I were to explain everything, the videos would be hours and hours. And it's just a lot harder to explain. So then the code has become more complicated, it's harder to explain, but it's more scalable. So in the sense that, so once I've gotten to a certain part, once part 21 or part 22 comes out, I'm planning to create a series of videos that talks about how you can just use whatever we have and then modify the game. So that's top-down learning, right? So bottom-up learning is you are learning how to create a game from scratch. And then top-down learning is more of how do you mod an existing set of codes, an existing set of games. And I think top-down learning helps you learn a lot faster because it's just more interesting, right? Because you do a couple of lines of code, maybe you spend 6 hours, 7 hours coding, 10 hours coding, you get a couple of new weapons inside your game. That's a lot more interesting than having to figure out how to do movement or how to organize your weapons or how to set up, say, physics in your game. Alright, all these things are a lot less interesting. So where I learned my games programming was a long time ago. There was this game called Warcraft 3, and then Warcraft 3 had a editor called the World Editor. And what's so cool about it is that you can add it was designed in such a way that you can add any of your own spells that you want. And you know, you had a lot of different very interesting mods in Warcraft 3, right? And one of the mods that came out of Warcraft 3, if I don't know if today's generation knows about it, that was Dota. So Dota used to be a Warcraft 3 mod. And then I used to create visual effects, spells, and then all these things for Dota. And I would put it on the forums, and sometimes they would pick it up and put it in game. So that was how I got started. And it was just a lot of fun. Because, you know, you, instead of again spending a couple of months creating the entire engine or creating the entire system. It's just a couple of hours of work, and then you get like very tangible, very exciting effects, right? So I'm gonna start a series of videos where I, instead of showing, you know, all the parts, how do you do Vampire Survivors like in maybe 10 hours? How do you create one variant of that, you know, that kind of stuff. So I haven't really got a concrete direction for that, but that's the direction that I'm heading. So a lot of work means a lot of money, right? Well, I get by pretty okay, but the more stuff, see, the more stuff that you want to do, you know, you only have 24 hours in a day, right? So when you do a lot of stuff, you know, there are things I wanna create more content like a lot faster, but then, you know, time is the constraint over here. I'm barely playing games now. I grew up playing games, but I don't even have time to play games now because of all these things that are happening. So yeah, you know, it's nice to be comfortable. I'm pretty comfortable. I'm not swimming in cash, but you know, I'm creating stuff, and I'm doing coding, and it's the stuff I like, and I get paid doing that, so I'm pretty happy about that. It's a nice life, but it can be better, huh? So if I plan to start a new series, I suggest that's a great suggestion. A more casual, simple game, right? So the question also is, so whenever we start a new series now, we do some keyword research. So if you see some of our series have almost 0 viewership, right? Like the Subnautica one, and I think the other one is the Farming RPG's viewership is not that good as well. So then we have to do research to see what are the trending keywords, and usually the keywords that trend or the games that trend are the ones that will have a lot of viewership. And it can be surprising, you know, some games are trending a lot, but then people don't want to learn how to create them. But then some games are, you know, like Vampire. I didn't even know Vampire Survivors. I didn't know what game it was, how it worked. My student knew about it, and he wanted to create this series, and that was how it got started. And we didn't do any keyword research, and you know, the viewership is really good for this series. So we got lucky, and then we learned something. Hi JT. So time is the enemy of us all, right? Time will kill us eventually. And then when we're alive, time is the thing that prevents us from doing everything that we want to do. It's unfortunate, but we just gotta find more efficient ways to organize our time. And well, if it helps, one of the things that I do is, I don't know if you've heard of this guy. His name is Sadhguru, and he has this program called Inner Engineering, and after I started on that, it reduced the amount of hours I have to sleep. I mean, sleep is, I love sleep a lot, but at the same time, you know, we spend so much time sleeping, right? So I was able to cut down my hours of sleep. I used to sleep like 10 hours a day, and it was just terrible. So then when I reduced the number of hours that I had to sleep, then it just allowed me to, even if it's just 2-3 hours a day, right? So if you go for, say, instead of 10 hours, I'm going at 6 or 7 hours now. So that's 3 hours a day, and that gives you a lot more time to do the things that you want to do. Okay, so let's get back to the code. And oh no, actually I was creating the article, right? So let's look at the article, and he used 100%. What you're saying here is 100% true. And that's that was the part that we grappled with. So I'm also looking at creating more bite-sized videos, because a lot of the viewers that we have, right, they're not following the tutorials word by word. They are following parts of the tutorial to get what they need. So then, you know, the way we name our videos as well is not optimal for catching these situations. So we've got to find a way to title our videos in such a way that it solves problems, right? So like if our tutorial solve a problem but you can't find those videos, then it's not a lot of help as well. And these were things that I didn't really think about until, you know, say in the past year. So then the streaming, you know, the streaming helps to get me talking to you guys as well, and it helps me to find other ways to solve your problems as well, right? And together with the forums, and also because I'm teaching and I have students and they run into problems and they look at my tutorials online as well, so I get to see how they use them, and then from there I can find better ways to present my content as well. So what should I call this new part? Upgrading the inventory slots UI, inventory slot UI. Creating the inventory. So in part 19, we overhaul the level up screen so that it became modular. Let's highlight this word because it's a very important word. This means that we can use this became usable in a wider variety. So it became modular. It became display properly different. So what is part 19's URL? Sometimes we're spending the rest of the time here just writing the article, and then I can start recording the content for part 20 in the next week, so then we can roll out, you know, part 19 and part 20 in rapid succession. And then we can move on to creating the revamping the enemy spawning system. So part 19, we overhauled the blah blah blah. There we go. Escape 15 different screen reviews. Yes. Part 20 review. While it is not let me just open up a copy of the part 19 video, just so that, sorry, not the video, the project, so that I can just compare both the projects side by side. So here's part 19, part 19 files. Maybe I should just get it from Patreon side. So if you're watching here and you have some spare money, I really appreciate it if you support us on the Patreon. I'm comfortable, but I have students who are working with me as well to edit the videos or to create content, and the Patreon is one of the ways that I pay them. Of course, I'm funding basically all my project money. So say when I do projects for clients, all the money basically goes to the interns. So if I have more Patreon money, I can hire more interns, and then these interns can fulfill their dreams, and then I can get more work done, given the you know, we all have 24 hours in a day, right? So the more supporters I have, then the faster I can get things done. So you'd be a great help, and in the near future, in next month or the next 2 months, I'm gonna roll out a new Patreon scheme, so then there'll be more benefits to being a Patreon. So stay tuned, because next month is school holidays, so I have a lot more time to work on all of these smaller things that I've always wanted to work on. So let me just set up this project, and we will have a, you know, this is the latest version. I'll just open another version of Unity that has the older version, and we can compare the two projects. So JT, you can kind of get a glimpse of the enemy spawner revamp at there's one of the codings. Oh, so you can get a glimpse of the spawner revamp. I think under our Patreon files, if I'm not wrong, is the code for stream 23. So then, because I already have implemented it halfway, then I one of our patrons reported a bug with the experience system, and that was how, and the level up system, and that was how I went to fix that instead, because I just couldn't sleep knowing that the bug was there. That's why I fixed it with part 19 first. So if you want to blame him, his name is on the post for part 19. All right. So I thank him, because he's been posting a lot on the forums and pointing out a lot of minor bugs that I wish I'd found myself. But if you know, it's a free country, right? So if you dislike him for delaying the enemy spawning system, I totally understand. Okay, you can go into the forums and let him know how you feel. Create a little drama there, maybe you'll get more viewership, more participation and engagement in the forums. I'm half serious, by the way. Half joking, half serious. Okay, so the older project is now updated, so I can just, so what I want to do is just capture a couple of examples of the old result screen and then how that works and all that stuff. So this is all fine and dandy. So the problem was, one of the problems we had was with the results screen, right? And if we turn it on, you can see that it's not very responsive. So let's fix that. Oh, it does not display awkwardly. Yes. We have two sets of codes that are responsible for inventory display. The game manager script handles the inventory display, right? Not wrong. So the result screen is controlled by the game manager, and the game manager has see that under the result screen. So the game manager controls the inventory display here, whereas the play inventory controls the inventory display on the main screen, which is right here, inventory slots. So we just want to unify these two things. And let me just write this up. The game manager script displaying the players. Display. Game manager script is one to go. So let's play the game here and then we'll see how this looks. So turn on the result screen. Okay, you don't really see the weapon, right? So we gotta disable this. Just gotta make the game go away after, say, 15 seconds. That works. So let's kill some stuff in 15 seconds. Wait. finish. So then you see the weapons over here. This is the result screen. We just get a screen capture of this. So don't mind me, I'm just trying to get the result screen to be, to get the image to be as optimized as possible. Forget to size this image. I think I did. Don't mind me being anal with the image sizes and everything. It's just because the more optimized the images are, then the faster the page loads, and the faster the page loads, the better it fares on SEO. So that's why I'm so particular about image sizes and everything when I'm writing my articles and stuff. So just replace this with same image but smaller. Just grab the text here. And delete this. There we go. The player inventory script. Want to go putting the weapons that the player has on the main inventory. See if there is an image in the blog that already has this inventory. A lot of inventories. How about let's check one of our old articles. See if you can find an image of the inventory system. Just get a snapshot of the inventory here. Bunch of items and see the inventory fill up. Gotta increase the timer, right? 10 minutes. So let's look at the how responsive. Well, this is actually not it's not responsive, huh? Oh no, it's responsive actually. It's pretty okay. It's not exactly the most responsive. I do this. Oh, it's pretty responsive actually. So it's actually pretty okay. It's pretty fine. Just take a screenshot of this then and make an image out of this. There we go. I like how in the poll that we have on the stream, most of you have answered why is Gamestop. It doesn't even make sense. So just as I'm doing this graphic, just talk a little bit about GameStop. GameStop is a meme stock that in 2021 it just shot up to astronomical levels from like $10, and it caused a lot of hedge funds to go bankrupt. And the reason for that is because these hedge funds were betting that the stock would fall, and then they were shorting the stock. And what shorting the stock means is that they were just betting that it would go, the price would drop. And then the reason that they were doing that is because, you know, if you short a stock, there's a way to make money off that. And of course, you know, whenever there is a way to make money off something, people do it, right? And if you short a stock and the stock price goes up, then you will lose a lot of money. And then a lot of hedge funds were ganging up to short the stock, and then this was causing the stock to drop to very low prices. And then one guy just managed to get a bunch of people on Reddit to buy a lot of GameStop stock, and then this caused the price to shoot up. And then when the price shot up, right? So imagine if you shorted the stock and you wanted it to go from 10 to 7, and then instead it went up from 10 to 20, and then these hedge funds, when you short a stock and then you fail, and then you have to quickly buy back the stock, otherwise you lose money. So then these hedge funds were buying back as the people from Reddit were pumping the stock, and this caused the stock to just go to astronomical levels. It was pretty funny to see. So it happened again a couple of days ago. You can just Google Roaring Kitty and you can find out more about it. It's a very interesting phenomenon. I know a lot of us gamers, I'm a gamer as well, and I used to have no interest in finance, but it just affects so many areas of our life that I just couldn't ignore finance anymore, you know? Like, cause, you know, for example, like the inflation that you're seeing today, you know, finance has a part to play in that. How money works, how money flows, all that has a role to play in how the price of bread turns out to be, or how the price of your housing, you know, like a lot of people can't afford housing nowadays, right? Like where it comes from, housing has just been prices are just so ridiculous. And if you understand economics and you understand how finance works, and a lot of times the schools don't teach you that, then you start to see, you know, all these little invisible forces at work that are affecting everything that you need for your life, you know. So it's pretty essential thing. I used to just have no interest at all because, you know, math is just boring, right? Unless you're using math to calculate, like, for example, how the fireball would travel. It's a pretty boring thing. And financial math is like the most boring thing ever. So I totally understand if you have no interest in all this stuff, right? But I had no interest until I saw how it affected my life. Well, the same as when I used to have no interest in trigonometry, but then when I learned how it could be used to code stuff, then I became more interested in trigonometry. So what am I doing here? Spot. Well, I've heard someone say that the cost of living thing, that's at least the cost of housing, it's happening all over the world, and it's deliberate. I'm not sure how true that is. It's deliberate, like it's can I say this on YouTube? Whatever. So the cost of it is to do with like the banks or inflation, so just something along those lines, but I'm not very sure how to put it across to you in clear terms as well. Like just how the banks are designed, I think, you know, that we take for granted that inflation is a normal thing, right? But apparently it's not so. And inflation can be, if the correct economic system is adopted, you know, you can weed out inflation. But it's just left there as a feature and not a bug. I think there are some people calling it that on Reddit as well, and it's pretty interesting. Inflation is a feature of the economic system, it's not a bug. It's always intended for inflation to happen, because inflation benefits people who have assets. They don't benefit the people who just, you know, work for money, which is like most of us. I'm sorry if I sound a little too all over the place, because I'm not a finance guy as well, so, you know, my theory side of my understanding of theory is only goes so far. I spend most of my time figuring out how to get fireballs to go in the direction that I want them to go in. So I'm not the best financial advisor as a result. So what was I gonna write? Inventory HUD. Okay, inventory script. And go to inventory icon. 100% JT, 100%. Just don't see a lot of all these things behind the scenes. Yesterday I was talking to a friend yesterday, just meeting up after a long time, and I told her that our currency is not backed by gold, that all of the world's currency is not backed by gold, and she was so surprised because she had an impression that our currency is all backed, our currencies all are backed by gold, right? And I didn't know that as well, you know, until recently. So it's pretty whack. Okay, inventory script is responsible. This is not a view because that means that code is not module. It's like it's not modular. We have shared codes window there the icon and the HTTP one. It makes more sense that the same set of codes we use for the result screen as well as anywhere else we would want to display our think some writers block. Oh yeah, I guess it's fine as long as you don't say Illuminati. I'm in this weird place where I'm deciding, should I swear on stream or should I not? You know, of course I'm still a lecturer, and if my students find me swearing on screen, I don't think it'd be very good for my career, you know. Because you know, swearing on stream, I guess, is how you I follow this MMA guy, and then you know he just says a lot of ridiculous stuff, and that's how it gets weird. I think I'll stick to my guns and just be an upstanding member of society who doesn't believe in conspiracy theories, and you know that inflation is a bug, and we're all trying to weed out for the past 100 years, and we haven't succeeded. UI upgrade window. Much like the UI upgrade window. That will operate independently. I hear naturally. Usable. Be reusable in our result screen later as well. Replace. Oh. Okay, let me. Sorry about the music. Let me just. Okay, I think this one's pretty fine now. Sorry about the music. Let's see what can I do about it. I guess I can. Yeah, actually, I can just reduce this one. Okay, there we go. Thanks for still staying on the stream and watching me write this article. Really appreciate it. Especially because I think JT in New Zealand is like, it's like 2 AM or something, right? So, and I don't know if you have work tomorrow. If you have work tomorrow and you're still staying, I really appreciate it. So just trying to figure out how to put everything in works, you know, all the things I've done. This is a great layout group. thanks for your support, man, JT. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the music. This is the boring part of the stream because I'm just creating images and screenshotting everything and getting numbers, all that stuff, so I can put it on the blog. Why is it 57 here? Should it be 0? Everything I want to show. You know, creating content is so much harder than actually just coding a game. I didn't realize how hard it was to create content until I started doing it. Okay, not all kinds of content are hard. It's just content that, you know, like teaching content is hard. Great. And my colleagues who teach, they just absolutely dread whenever they're assigned to develop a syllabus because it's just a lot of pain, you know. At least I have you guys staying here with me as I create content, you know. They're just doing it through the night, sometimes to like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. and just fighting the urge to sleep or to get some distraction. And because I only teach part-time, so I never had to create content as a lecturer, which is a total blessing for me. Sure thing, Piyush, no worries. Let's start creating this new inventory. What system? Business. And I'll show the screenshot of the hierarchy as well, yes. So this is the new one. Percent. Percent green. In the top left corner. 20% of the screen. And this is how it looks like. This also get value gives it some space the edge. Space that left. Six. Give it some space. Screen. Top value. That's set. Cost. Screen. Top. 6 pixels. 130. Screen right. No problem, JT. Thanks for joining the stream. Enjoy your class tomorrow. Thanks for your support. Display the inventory slots. Using to horizontal layout group. Can we create horizontal layout groups by just going to UI? I don't think I can do that now. So create set up horizontal layout group. Create so that Hi Robert, nice to see you. The messages notification that we have here is not working. My OBS studio settings messed up and I forgot to add it in back. So sorry if it took me some time to reply to you. So what I'm doing now is updating, creating article part 20. Part 19's video is coming soon. I'm targeting early next week for release. And part 20 should be pretty fast because, you know, it's just, I've done it together with part 19. So all the content is there, I just gotta present it in an article, right? So that we can create a video out of it. So layout group, we have a yeah. Mm, open second. It seems like the place I'm staying in is always changing. Well, it's kind of. You're not entirely wrong. But for the past 3 months, I've been in the same place. So it's just that because some of the streams are from, I've recorded them a couple of months back. So that's why it looks like the place I'm at is always changing, but it's not. It's just clips from across time, you know. But I appreciate that because it means you've been watching our videos. Thanks for your support. I hope you've been well. and I hope you've been enjoying part 19. Right now it's just the article, but the video is coming soon. And it's surprisingly a lot of it. The video is quite long. Trying to compress it into trying to keep it within an hour. I'm hoping that would be possible. You know, like it's a pretty simple thing, but then there's so much content to cover, and none of the stuff can be cut out. You know? Sometimes it's hard to compress content. Horizontally and component. Yeah. Creating new inventory. Plot. Let's make this a new section. Display inventory slot. All of the important settings, but let me just explain. View set the first one all our icons to otherwise layout the reform icons will be what the 2 rows of we have a spacing of 10 so that the icons will be spacing later in each other. Then we get the height. Okay, so the last two so that the icon will always fit. Can we Hi Close, can we continue the Harvest Moon? Yes, Jonathan is working on the next part, and we are targeting. I'll ask him when he's planning to release the next part. So he's working on 2 series now. He's just done a web stream. You can check that out under the live column. So he's just finished his exams, so he's gonna have quite a bit of time. So over the next, no promises, but over the next month or two, you probably will see like 2 or 3 videos for the farming RPG. Okay, best case. At least you'll see, at least I think in the next 2 months you should be able to see 2 videos. Alright, if you're lucky, we may get 3 or 4. If we are lucky, then we may get 3 or 4. I'm glad you like the series so much, and thanks for joining this stream. You can drop a comment on his videos because he looks at the comments. So heckle him a little bit, and maybe he'll speed up on the production of the videos. So he was just talking to me about what he was planning to do for the next video, and he said that it was gonna be a little bit more complex, so it might take him some time. I can actually let me just check what he said to me, so I can just relay it to you in a moment. He said the next farming RPG part might be a bit complex. I'm deliberating whether to do another overhaul since the event system is going to be a bit more complex. Doing some research, games with dialogue and event system with multiple triggers rely on a blackboard architecture might be a bit advanced for audience, but we'll be pioneering something with it. But if I'm gonna explain more advanced concepts, I don't... Okay, so the last part is about video editing and it's about video editor and stuff, so we don't have to talk about it, but there it is. So what he's trying to do is in a similar direction to what I'm doing, which is so you see in the Vampire Survivor series, I'm making all the systems more robust. It makes it harder for us to explain our concepts, but then it makes the whole system, more usable. I think for those of you who are following our Vampire Survivor series and you are using it to make your own games, I hope you can feel the difference. So that's what he's working on. I will get him to post some updates on the community side of things on YouTube as well, so you can get updates on what's going on. Hope that answers your question. And Clopes, thank you for the excitement on the series. As always, it's comments like yours that make us continue doing whatever we are doing. So Jonathan is currently taking his degree, and when he gets the time, he will put together a new video. If only you can see the comments that I see, right? He doesn't stream as often. I've been trying to get him to stream, but he's just streamed for different series that we are creating. But I don't think he enjoys it as much. I think it takes time for him to get used to it. I mean, I teach for I lecture for a living, so it's a lot more natural for me to talk to a camera or talk to a screen or whatever. So I think for a lot of people, it can take a little bit of time to get used to that. And Jonathan he's been very game, so I really appreciate that about him. He's very game to. I mean, he's never streamed before, but he was open to trying it, and I think it's very courageous of him. So Robert, you're still waiting for it. I'm gonna screenshot this part here, and I'm just gonna send it over to him, just to encourage him on, you know. There we go. So I'm sending that screenshot of your requesting for the Vampire Survivors video to him, and I'll let you know if he responds. I think he's probably asleep now. To be honest, the Harvest Moon completed, I can make 1,000 USD. Okay, then it's the completion part is a little tricky though, because there's when we first started the Harvest Moon series, we were not thinking it was gonna like be 30 parts or 40 parts. We thought that it's doable and maybe 10 parts, 20 parts, and then it just ballooned. Because there's a lot of features, and if you probably have to do your own research as well, because if you wait for us, it's gonna take a couple of years for the whole game to finish. So one thing you can do is you can engage with us in the forums, and you can ask a couple of questions there and say if you want to do certain features, and Jonathan can point you in the right direction. It will be a more brief direction, but like if he can tell you, for example, you look into this and then look into that, and then you can ask ChatGPT to fill in the blanks for you, and this can help you to develop the game faster than if you were to wait for us. Unless you're okay waiting a couple of years, then by all means you can follow. You can, I mean, you should still follow our series, but if you're doing it to make money, and you probably have to do a couple of things yourself as well. Otherwise, it's gonna take way too long. I know it's not helping. I should be telling you, wait for us, because that's the best thing you can do. But I think a little bit of honesty is good as well, right? Well, unless you're saying you want to sell our series for us, then we can figure something out as well. So let's say if you're a vendor or something, or if you want to sell our series to a school or something, because we are looking at getting into running courses for schools and stuff. But that's gonna be quite a while away from where we're at now. Now we're just creating YouTube content. Now that our create icons will receive and our icon will consist of 3 game objects each. and they will be the slot, the icon, icon, three index. Slot. Names and we're using Text Mesh Pro, right? Am I sharing my screen? Sorry, I'm not sharing my screen, is it? I can wait for it. You wanna sell our project and make money from it? We can work out something, but it's definitely gonna sell more than 1,000 USD, I think. We have you have to package it as well, you know. So there's I haven't really thought about it, but if you have a plan, you know, we can talk further about it. So like why is it 1,000 that you have in your mind, and who are you selling it to, right? And do you want to sell the ownership of it, or do you want to sell, like, say, packages like as a product? You know, a lot of ways you can tackle this, and we've thought about it. We have some rough ideas. Me and Jonathan, we've discussed a little bit, but we haven't arrived at anything concrete yet. Maybe after this semester is over, this is my last week of teaching, and after that there will be school holidays for a couple of weeks. Looking forward to that because I can get more of this streaming stuff and more of these tutorials done. Right now these tutorials are still a hobby because they don't make enough money. Like, still losing money on these tutorials, alright, but losing less. So then once there's more traction on these, then we can figure out if we can come up with a good deal for me, and of course we'll talk about it. But probably not gonna sell the ownership of the series, so it's probably gonna be some other way that if you package it as a product or something, and then we will sell licenses perhaps. game objects each. Remember, we make the but make the icons responsive. Yeah. Make the game text. We make the game objects responsive as well. Can't do anything about the slot effect since it is a direct file or layout group. So the icon in text should be stretched with some margins at the side. Effect reserve aspect. On the image. The aspect ratio. And finally, we have the text. The text element does not have a split. Its position is anchored to the bottom center of Terence. With negative y position certainty. Here, immediately below the border. the other option you can set. That's true. We can set it on Unity, Udemy. 10 to 30 USD buyer for each piece of content. That's right. So that's one option, but we already have Patreons, and our Patreon system right now is so that you get a preview of the content, and then after that the rest of the stuff. Because like if you want to see the article, then you know it's behind a paywall and all that stuff. And in that sense, we are already selling stuff. You know, we are selling Patreon memberships, right? And along for the next month or two, you can watch out for. I'm gonna revamp the Patreon system a little bit, bring more value to you guys, right? Because you know, especially now the economy is terrible, right? And whether I mean, you can say it's by design or it's not by design, but the economy is terrible now, and it's $10 is a lot of money, and for those patrons who are supporting us with $10, it's really amazing stuff, man. I never imagined we'd get this level of support. I mean, it's just a small amount of support, but still, it's still very heartening. So I want to bring more value to our Patreon supporters. Okay, instead of just getting content, that I'm sure there are more ways that we can give you value. If you decide to give your $10, that's one McDonald's meal, right? So if you decide to give out your $10, then you'll be getting more value out of that in the next couple of months. What's going on here? Why is this thing so small now? Ah, there we go. Okay, let me retake this picture because it's quite different from what I have inside here. The borders and everything are different. Actually, no, not much difference. It's fine. Once you once you have gotten the slot properly configured, you can duplicate the slots and we cancel here to handle the rest. The layout work. So what I'm gonna do here is just stretch this out, this, and this is middle left. So we have weapons, horizontal layout group here. This should be, stretch this out. This would mean the slot is Hit the slots using Control plus input. Use Control D. In the last part, we might go one. Duplicating. Once that is done, make a duplicate that. Top row will be for reference. Bottom row will be for S. I forgot how I set this up initially. So confused now. Let me just have a look at what was there originally. I had passive and all that stuff. There we go. So the vertical layout group handle the spacing of these elements. Oh, there was spacing of 10. Wasn't the vertical layout group that was doing the work. It was 0, 0. split the anchor actually is perfect. So 0.5, sorry, 0.5 and 1. Then this should be 0, 1, and then 0, 5 to 0 to 0. So if I set everything to 0, you'll see that the elements will all overlap, which is not a good thing. But then we can just add some spacing to the passives section like that, and this will work out perfect. The spacing doesn't really work for other screens. I guess we have to use the vertical layer group then, because that one will work. That works pretty well. Once that is done, add a vertical with the 3 slots. Okay, and duplicate the row of icons you just created. Name the first row weapons, row the spacing of 10 and row child size with spacing of 10 and up to something. Why do I have my joystick there? Let me just hide the joystick here. Creating the script. Now that we have the slots set up, let's create a script that will like the UI upgrade window from the previous part. Manage the UI elements up. UI inventory icons display on inventory. Yeah, straight under the UI folder. The UI inventory. That's it. Right. Script for this component we will also specialized computer interface. Explain more in the same folder as read the folder let's color this grid to show how important this is. How do we color text red? Highlight. inventory. Okay. I think I'm starting to zone out right now. And that's all the writing I can do for today, so I'm gonna be calling it night. And I'll see you all next week. Let me just save this draft. And along the way, if I have time over the course of the week, let me just turn down the volume. If I have time over the course of the week, I'll put in more content into this article. Hopefully by the end of next week, I will be able to finish up this article and then we can start producing the video for part 20 as well. So as usual, thanks for joining this stream. I really appreciate all your support and of course engaging with me in the chat and all that stuff. Okay, it's what makes all this stuff worth it. I'm gonna call it for the night. So thanks for joining the stream and I'll keep you guys updated with future streams on YouTube as usual. So I will raise my white flag now and see you all next week.